topic earlier that we talked about. So kind of, I'm going to say my story, I don't think it's nearly as bad as your story of being homeless and whatnot, but I'll explain what was going through my mind during some of the tougher parts of my life, and maybe it could let you reflect on your life a little bit differently too, because I feel like when I hear people's stories, then I could also rethink about my life in a different perspective.
So now I got to outdo you guys and how much harder my life was.
No,
he said I was sucking dick for crack. Podcast to save my life. I'm just playing, bro.
Ugly ass forehead.
It got ugly when you laugh and it starts crinkling up, right?
I'm kidding. I know Liem's had some struggles.
I'd have to point out the two things that I never struggled with. I've never had a day in my life that I didn't have food. I'm so grateful. So some of the complaints that I have is, you'll hear in a second, but that's one of the things I've always had. I always had food. I've always had a place to sleep too. I actually usually say that together. And I mean, I'm not trying to say that because you said you're homeless. I have a friend who was raised in the Philippines and came here because he didn't want to be in poverty. He made he felt like every effort he did in school and college was to get him from the Philippines to America to stay away from poverty. And when I hear his story and I see it in his work ethic, holy shit, this guy, when I think I'm a decent programmer, that motherfucker he's a machine. That guy could program like 14 hours a day. I don't understand how he could do it. My mind doesn't work.
It's the fear of poverty pushing him to succeed.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's that early trauma. Literally.
Yeah.
So like, not to cut you off, but like that's what drives me, man. Literally, like I think about the shit I went through. Like when I was a kid, bro, I wish I was you or anyone else where I'm like, I don't have to worry about like not having anything to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's times I had to eat sleep for fucking dinner or drink water and just be full off that shit for a while. You know, or places to stay, you know, or just a lot of different things, you know, like those were like luxuries to me. But to some other people or, you know, I guess the average people or whatever, that's just whatever, that's life, you know?
Yeah.
But like your friend in the Philippines, you know, they say he's a machine. And, you know, I think a lot of people, when you go through poverty or go through any type of hard times at an early age, you grow up so fast and you grow up, I'm not ever going back. Like it's safe to say you're never, I don't like saying the N word, never, but it's safe to say you never. Yeah, you know, I'll drop the other one quick, but now I'm like, I don't want to exactly. But I really don't like saying the word never, because in my life, when I say never, like I'm never doing this, I'm never doing that, it actually happened somewhere down the line. And then I thought back like, damn it, I said it. So I try not to say, I say ever.
But I will never lick cocaine off of a hooker's butt.
So you want to, so it's not going to happen.
Never.
But I try to say ever. So I'm like, it's safe to say you won't ever go back to Macy's Foden. You know, I won't ever go back to Hardee's. What did you do, bro? You got any fucked up stories from growing up?
Oh, were you?
No. So for my story, so I was raised. My mom and dad divorced when I was 7. So that I think weighed heavily on my brother. That's a different story. So he was the older brother. I was the younger one. I was a tiny bit shielded. We moved to a town that was 99% white people. So that really fucked my identity. And that's where I feel that I think if I could try to see in the shoes of either black people or people of poverty that are put in I feel like that's my way I connect with their feeling. If they were not as fortunate, my story was my identity was fucked up. It was always fucked up until the age of about 22, 24 years old is where I was like, wait, why am I trying to fit in? Why am I trying to be a white person? I'm not white. I tried so hard because since I was 7 years old, that was, one of the heaviest memories I remember was my best friend. She said one day when I was 7 years old, I said something and she said to me like, why do you have an accent when you say that? I was taught Vietnamese when I was up to about the age of 5. And then my parents said, you know what? Your dad works 3 jobs a day. You're learning English from now on. No more Vietnamese at home. So even at the age of 7, I had a little bit of an accent. And I remember her saying that to me, and it hurt me. I was like, fuck, I need to do everything I can to get rid of this accent. And that I remember that at 7 years old, is what I said to myself. And now actually reflecting on that, that's almost really sad to think that so many Americans are so privileged. They could learn one fucking language and be okay, English. And they don't understand the struggle that someone has from another language learning English. I think it's so fucking privileged and upsetting to me that Americans can think, oh, you need to learn English. Oh, fuck you, man. You are so fucking privileged. You go learn things around the world. Learn other cultures. Just because you're fucking privileged and your country's so privileged doesn't give you the right to push your agenda on others. So that's a little bit of the struggle where as a kid, I was like, fuck, I need to learn English. And I didn't get to reflect it till I was later. But having Vietnamese as my first language in America. I was born in America, but Vietnamese was still technically my first language.
Yeah.
And then, so fighting with English, the accent, I got rid of that pretty quick. That was probably when I was 9 or 11, it was gone. No, and then to the point where
then you just sound like a punk.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It turns the other way. When I started hanging out with other Asians, when I was like 19, going to a family party, I literally had some female. She's laughing at me. She's like, "You sound so fucking white." And it was an Asian woman. She was saying it in a fobby voice at me.
I got a story for that one.
So I mean, funny. Fighting between language and then mainly the identity. That was something I think that hampered. I really do honestly think it hampered my learning in junior high and high school. While everyone was, maybe all the white kids around me could focus on math, history, English,
football,
whatever they wanted to do. I was focusing on how do I become more white like them. And nobody, when you're a kid, nobody explains you to this stuff or how to deal with it, what's wrong and right, what's going to be the future. So it was probably around 22 where something in my brain just said, you know what, I'm doing this IT stuff. I'm pretty young. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Why do I have to try to fit in why do I have to try to fit into a white person's shoes? I think us moving to Mira Mesa, a predominantly Asian area around the age of 19, I think that was something that helped because staying around more Asians, it made me feel more comfortable being Asian. Up to the age of 17, 18, until the age of 18, I was just staying in a predominantly white neighborhood. So I never dealt with poverty in the sense of food or home, but I dealt with identity. And I feel like when I look at other people with poverty or if even any racial things, Mexican, black, any minority in America, I have so much more sympathy for them.